Zombies. They have and always will be an integral concept in pop culture. Their origins exist early in the film industry. Nowadays they also exist in TV, video game and even book industries. What is a zombie? According to its dictionary meaning, in popular fiction, a person or reanimated corpse that has been turned into a creature capable of movement but not of rational thought, which feeds on human flesh. Although they are only created as fiction, there have been suggestions in recent times that there could in fact be a zombie outbreak and that a zombie apocalypse could devastate the world. Science supports these theories to a certain extent. Now the question of the video, could a zombie apocalypse be plausible? I'm King's Top 5, and let's find out with the top 5 zombie apocalypse conspiracy theories. Theory 5. The government's unusual purchases of military-grade ammunition. About 5 to 6 years ago there was some controversy with the SSA, standing for the Social Security Administration, when the media in fact discovered that they were purchasing well over 200,000 rounds of hollow point and hydro-shock pistol ammo in only one single transaction. The SSA does have its own self-governed police force, and they are paid to protect fellow SSA personnel, officers, and millions of citizens, especially the elderly. Everybody demanded to know why they had purchased so many rounds. It had appeared that the SSA was in fact preparing for a major incident of self-defense, but the official explanation that they provided was that their police force needed the ammunition to practice at gun ranges, and that the order they purchased had nothing to do with any sort of situation or probable disaster. Not many people bought this answer. There were further investigations and it was discovered that full metal jacket rounds, or FMJ, are almost always used for target practice, which is significantly cheaper than the hollow point and hydro-shock rounds. Hollow point ammunition is about $1 per round, and hydro-shock rounds are hollow points with extra barbs inside of them, which are extremely expensive. They average at about $80 for a box of 50 rounds. The two are manufactured and designed for extra stopping power, and they are both significantly more powerful than the standard FMJ rounds. And the SSA claimed that they were wasting them on paper targets. Many conspiracy theorists took it to the next step and proclaimed that there were emails leaked to the SSA from another department of government concerning some sort of imminent danger due to civil unrest, and that this will be precipitated by the collapse of USA's infrastructure due to the compromisation in the security of a military research program on infectious diseases above top secret profile. Other government departments are apparently making similar preparations, and that the SSA are the only ones that have been caught doing so. In my opinion, this theory only brings more questions than answers, and that the SSA are probably telling the truth. Theory 4. Transmissible spongiform encephalopathy. The most well-known type of this viral disease is nicknamed the mad cow disease. There are thousands of strains of encephalopathy, and many of them can be transmitted to humans. Humans are very rarely infected, about 1 in a million per year, but the disease is 100% fatal and there is no known cure, vaccine, or treatment. This is where conspiracy theorists shout military value. Their claim is that the military has long been hard at work researching methods by which to infect enemy soldiers with any of a number of these encephalopathies. They all operate in the same way, deteriorating the tissue of the brain by eating tiny holes through it. The brain eventually looks something like Swiss cheese, and the person's mental state consequently degenerates into dementia and quite frequently aggressive violence. If the infection eats through the centers of the brain that controls ethics, the person no longer acts like themselves, but more like a monster. The last part of the brain to be invaded is invariably their cerebellum, thus maintaining life for as long as possible. And what does human-to-human transmission require? Only a bite. Theory 3. Stem cell research. Stem cell research is a great idea. In a nutshell, stem cells can divide into any specialized cells and can automatically propagate more cells. Thus, they could in theory be used to cure incurable diseases, such as the Lou Gehrig's disease, cerebral palsy, maybe even HIV. And most famously, they can be used to regrow nerve tissue, enabling quadriplegics to walk again. The latter is a reality since 2003, when a simple injection healed a Korean paraplegic within 3 weeks. She was standing and walking for the first time in 19 years. But conspiracy theorists are quick to argue that thanks to stem cells, the leap to the undead is just a baby step. Given the medical establishment's official boast of immortality by the 2030s, theorists claim that stem cells are the final step in realizing the horror fantasy of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. In her novel, the only two details missing from the operation to resurrect a dead body are now how to reconnect the nerve system and how to counteract brain death. A defibrillator can only revive a person if the brain cells are still alive. To this end, the government is actively researching the value of stem cells and reanimating dead brains. If stem cells are injected into one, They can assume the form and operations of neurons, most importantly those of cerebellum, which controls all involuntary functions of the body. The only centers for walking and balance would be revived, enabling brain life while providing only a single effective target. Such a resurrected corpse could be shot in the heart and keep attacking. And if stem cells can be used to cure incurable diseases, theorists maintain that they can easily be used to create infectious diseases. Theory 2. Haitian Zombie Powder. Here is a true story of a zombie. Clavius Narcissi. He was born in Haiti in 1922. Details of his death or current whereabouts are not widely known, but on May 2, 1962, he was found unresponsive in his home and presumed dead. He was buried but exhumed by unknown parties as punishment for breaking a Haitian code of honor. He was administered regular doses of Jimson weed, which causes extreme hallucinations and a form of hypnosis, under which influence the user will obey any order. Narcissi was enslaved on a sugar plantation, until the owner and the witch doctor controlling Narcissi died, after which he was given no more doses of the poison. He eventually regained his health and reunited with his family. This is all fact, but no one is certain whether there is any combination of drugs which can render someone dead in all aspects except brain death. The general opinion is that a minute amount of bufotoxin and tetrodotoxin, derived from the cane toad and the pufferfish respectively, halted all Narcissi's bodily functions except consciousness in his cerebellum. Conspiracy theorists take this to a step further, claiming that the government thought that these toxins in combination with Jimson weed would be a great idea for a weapon. They went on to fully develop such a weapon and stockpiled huge reserves of it for the purpose of biological warfare. Coming in at theory number 1 is the Miami face eating attack. On the 26th of May 2012, Rudy Eugene, a 31-year-old high school graduate with entrepreneur ambitions, attacked Ronald Edward Popo, a 65-year-old homeless man, at random on a ramp at MacArthur Causeway, under an elevated train. Eugene was seen with hundreds of witnesses and security camera crossing the bridge, west to east in his car, where at the east end it broke down. He began walking back across the bridge around 12 p.m., taking 2 hours to walk the 3-mile span. The attack began just before 2 p.m. Without provocation, Eugene, having stripped himself completely naked while walking the bridge, tosses away his Bible and assaulted Popo, who was lying on the cement. Eugene gouged out both of his eyes and stripped off his pants, then choked him unconscious. He then ate Popo's face, from the beard to the hairline, including one eye and his nose. This assault lasted 18 minutes and was filmed via security camera from the Miami Herald building, and was posted on the internet. A summoned police officer shouted at Eugene to stop, who growled in response and resumed. The officer shot him once in the upper back with a .40 S&W hollow point, a very powerful pistol round. This had no effect, so the officer shot him 4 more times, eventually killing him. The official autopsy listed marijuana as the only drug in his bloodstream, but his actions are inconsistent with marijuana's effects. The popular term bath salts was taken up by media around the world as a culprit. Bath salts is slang for cathinones, which are psychoactive stimulants similar to methamphetamines. They are more powerful than LSD and can cause a person to become instantly insane and superhuman, built at the expense of destroying the mind and a large portion of the body with only one use. But the autopsy found no such drugs in Eugene's system, and the story rather quickly faded in obscurity. Conspiracy theorists argue that the government immediately covered it up, because the government has created a drug or virus which will cause violent, cannibalistic behavior in anyone, no matter how responsible and self-controlled. This is the singular event that has, for most conspiracy theorists, clinched the zombie apocalypse as entirely real and very near. The fact that Eugene's friends and family all testified that he was thoroughly even-tempered and sociable is a central tenet of the theory. The infectious agent was either accidentally released into Eugene's body or deliberately tested on him. All evidence of it was either untraceable or erased from the autopsy. Although he was not undead, and Popo has not yet shown symptoms of infection, this was just stage 1 of a drug or virus currently under development as a weapon to create zombies. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and comment what you want to see next time. See you later.